Oh Lord, the homie is back up in the building, and as always, it is a pleasure to be here on YouTube. And y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing, man. It's Wednesday already. You know what I'm saying? Just seemed like just yesterday it was Sunday, and you was dreading on getting your ass back to work. But guess what, man? It's Wednesday. Your ass is halfway through it. You know what I mean? We got a long weekend on the horizon, Memorial Day weekend, I think it is. You know what I'm saying? So you get that extra day off. All you got to do is stay focused and keep your eyes on the prize. Keep your eyes on the light at the end of the tunnel, man, all day. You know what I'm saying? Man, look, man, I couldn't wait to get up on this joint and talk with the champions and the championettes, man, tonight. Y'all know how we do each and every Wednesday, each and every Sunday, and we get up on here and we do our thing. You dig, champions? We do our thing, and we talking boxing, man. Yo, man, we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to cover, and I am really looking forward to this episode. Jonathan Fox in the building. What's up, family? What's good, man? This is gonna be one for the ages. I hear you, man. All day. We, as y'all see the title, Thurman wants to crucify Manny Pacquiao on some biblical stuff. My man getting biblical and philosophical at the same damn time. He wants to crucify Manny Pacquiao, and we will get to that, man. We will get to that, but y'all know how I do every episode. We got to talk about the undercard issues first, and we will be getting to the meat and potatoes. I want to talk about my man, hashtag the final level, hashtag M Bison, hashtag King Bowser up in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? I definitely want to talk about my man, Keith Thurman. But before we get to that, let's do it with some underling stuff here first. First and foremost, the first thing that caught my eye is Dillian Whyte. Yeah, we talking about Mr. Underling himself, Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte is walking around looking like a bag of salt. He is now criticizing Deontay Wilder's win. What's up, Gambit, the boxing novice? What's up with you? He is out criticizing, in quotes, criticizing the way that Deontay Wilder knocked Dominique Brazil into the middle of the last dimension. So he's out running his mouth, and he got a lot to say. So we're going to deal with what Dillian Whyte has to say about this situation. He goes on to say, and I quote, "Plenty of people seem to be raving about Wilder's knockout victory over Dominique Brazil at the weekend, but Brazil is exactly the kind of guy that you fight when you are trying to look good. How the hell can he be number 4 in the WBC rankings and the mandatory challenger? What has he achieved in his career? He's far from the top level. He's a nobody who had only 3 fights against nobodies in the last 3 years. And it's a disgrace that he was the mandatory." Those are the words of Dillian Whyte, ladies and gentlemen. He goes on to say neither him nor Bermain Stavern earned their status, but were cherry-picked by Wilder as the only 2 mandatories he's fought in 4.5 years. He's meant to have one at least every year, unless there are certain exceptions to that, y'all. And the last thing that he says, Stavern was 40 and completely out of shape and have, all right, we'll just leave it there. All right, let's pick up on some of these things that Dillian Whyte is talking about. You dig? Brayon Thomas in the building. What's up? Renee Box Young in the building. Everybody who hear the sound of my voice, go check out the homie, Renee Box Young. Official. Real talk. All right, and hit the like button for me as y'all come on up in this joint. Let's deal with what Dillian Whyte is talking about. Now, Dillian Whyte clearly is upset that the WBC did not rule him as the mandatory challenger to Deontay Wilder. We all heard this story a zillion times, right? We've heard this story. Now, Dillian Whyte is rated number 1 in the WBC, and Dominique Brazil was rated number 4. I don't know where they're going to put him at now that he's taking that L. But at the end of the day, so Dillian Whyte feels as though he should have been the mandatory. Now, every time I look at this story and I hear this, and I hear him talking, it just kind of pisses me off a little bit because, for one, you know, the thing is that, for one, he blames Deontay Wilder all the time for this situation. I mean, I understand he's frustrated with the WBC, but you cannot, I repeat, fight fans, you cannot blame Bomb Squad, the real champ, for this particular situation. He had nothing to do with the WBC naming whoever they named as the mandatory. And Dillian Whyte knows this. Let's take a trip down memory lane just real quick. You know what I'm saying? The thing is this. We know back in November of 2017 that freaking what's his Dominique Brazil fought Eric Molina. Eric Molina was a Don King fighter. Don King has a special relationship. It goes back to the 80s. A special sort of type of relationship when it comes to the WBC. It goes all the way back to Jose Suleiman, the father of Mauricio Suleiman. Don King's fighters have always had a special place in the WBC. Don't ask me how, don't ask me why. I think you know the answer to that. And so Eric Molina, who was a Don King fighter, Don King set him up to become a mandatory in the WBC if he would have beaten Dominique Brazil, who had just 2 fights prior, took an L to Anthony Joshua. So they thought they had it in the bag. Turns out Dominique Brazil won. Not to mention, right before that fight occurred, it was dubbed as just an eliminator. But right before the fight came out, the WBC then put out there that this will be a final eliminator. Don Dada in the building. What's up with you? Amir Shahu, salute. You know what I'm saying? So the WBC came out right before that and said this will be a final eliminator, and the winner of this fight will go on to face Deontay Wilder. Well, Dominique Brazil won. He knocked out Eric Molina, and he became the mandatory since 2017. Now, Dillian Whyte, during this same time, this is the funny thing. During this same exact time, Dillian Whyte was in a position where he was also trying to be in the hunt for the WBC title. And back then, he was in the 3rd place, and Dominique Brazil was actually in the 7th place. But the thing is, he went on to face Robert Helenius, did not look stellar by far, but he went on to face Robert Helenius, and he felt as though that was a better win. And during this time, Deontay Wilder was still pressing his foot on the gas to try to get a fight with AJ. And Eddie Hearn said, fight Dillian Whyte. If you fight Dillian Whyte, I will let you face AJ, which sounds stupid, right? Sounds stupid. Deontay Wilder then turns around and says, okay, fine. Guess what? I'll fight Dillian Whyte, but you're going to pay me $7 million and guarantee me a shot to Anthony Joshua. Eddie Hearn said no dice. Offered him $4 million without the guarantee to face Anthony Joshua. So not only did Dillian Whyte know at the time that he would not be the mandatory, but he had an opportunity to even sidestep it if Eddie Hearn would have just did what he wanted to do. You know, it's crazy because we talking about this in November of 2017. That's just like over what? Short over a year and a half, just a little under that. And here we are today where DAZN, the network that Eddie Hearn works with, is offering Deontay Wilder $80 million or $120 million for 4 fights. And yet Eddie Hearn didn't even want to give him $7 million back then, just a year and some change ago. You did. He didn't even want to give him 7. So then Deontay Wilder, even let's go down a little further. He comes back and says, you know what? Fine. They don't want to do this because Deontay Wilder thought it was stupid for one, as a champion, to have to go through somebody else just to get to another champion. Maybe that's what he learned. He learned something from that confrontation, because you go later on down the line, Deontay Wilder then tells Dillian Whyte, hey, beat Luis Ortiz, and then I'll give you a shot. He never fights Luis Ortiz. So all of this crying and bitching that I'm hearing from Dillian Whyte, all it makes me do is reminisce and say to myself, cuzzo, you had the opportunity to not, you knew you wasn't going to be the mandatory. And the second fighter he names in his little rant, Bermain Stavern, a Don King fighter, becomes the mandatory. Duh, no secret, right? It's a Don King hookup. So you knew you wasn't going to be the mandatory. And then you declined every opportunity, or your people's declined opportunities to just say, you know what, we'll sidestep you around that and give you straight to Wilder if you do pay us $7 million and make sure that we got a guarantee to fight Anthony Joshua next in writing. It was that simple. It was that simple. And now you want to cry. You want to cry, though. Since then, you ain't done much. You done all right. You beat Joseph Parker, but that was mainly for the WBO. You beat Derek Chisora. I don't know what the hell that was for. That was just a waste of time and money. You beat Lucas Brown, who can't get his ass in shape for nothing right now. So don't act like you done leaps and bounds. You damn near lost to Robert Helenius. And I like Dillian Whyte. Don't get me wrong. But, hey, all this crying and whining, hey, cut it, bruh. Cut it. You got to stop it because you know what went down. You know the opportunities you had. You could have fought Luis Ortiz. No dice. You could have gave Wilder the money he asked in the guarantee. No dice. You don't want to do nothing. You just want to sit back and say, well, I'm in the number one position, so I should be the mandatory. Bro, your opponents you beat, all right, they ain't all leaps and bounds above what Dominic Brazil did. Not leaps and bounds, like you try and make it. And then you want to turn around and act like what Wilder did against Dominic Brazil wasn't impressive. First round stoppage, easy work. What fight y'all talking about again? So cut the shit, man. Don't blame Wilder for something that Don King already arranged. And don't forget that you had opportunities to sidestep this mandatory situation. And you could have gotten Deontay Wilder on a couple occasions. We're not going to get brand new. See, that's what a lot of people like to do nowadays. They like to have these arguments with you and they want to forget things that led to these moments that we are at today. And I ain't going to do it. I'm not going to do it, Slim. I'm going to stick to the script and stick to exactly what happened. I'm not going to get brand new. Like a lot of cats, they get brand new and act like, you know, nah. Yeah, he sounds a little salty, Jonathan Fox. Sounds salty. Dundada says Deontay Wilder woke heavyweight boxing up all day. All day. All day. And you know what, bro? That's a perfect segue into the next topic. We will move right along. The one thing that I have forgot that happened this week also, Deontay Wilder, along with Steven Espinoza, accepts Emmys. They were nominated for Emmys and they won Emmys. Congratulations to Deontay Wilder. Congratulations to Showtime. And also you got to include them. Congratulations to Tyson Fury because it was all about the all access that both of them did together. You know what I mean? So you got to give credit where credit is due. But that just goes to show you, man, Deontay Wilder winning an Emmy, man, popularity is increasing each and every week. Your man Deontay Wilder got it all working right now, Joe. He got it all working. Just coming off a first round stoppage that went viral. Turns around, goes to the Emmys, up in the Emmys, up in that joint. Just saw him the other day at the stock exchange. Like this dude is everywhere. He's every fucking way. He is omnipresent. And I'm loving it. You know what I'm saying? I'm really loving it, man. Hats off to them, man. Real talk. So if y'all missed it, yeah, man, they got 2 Emmys. Showtime won 2 Emmys for the All Access series, and this can't be nothing but good news. The ones that they got outstanding edited sports event coverage for All Access Wilder versus Fury epilogue, and outstanding edited sports special or series for All Access Wilder versus Fury. So that's 2 Emmys, man. Hats off to them. It's good to see that Deontay Wilder name is in every way that you can turn around. You can't miss it, man. You pair this along with the fact that, like ESPN was just out talking about he was like the most Googled boxer and all. Man, look, man, all of these popularity arguments are going to be shredded, son. Shredded. Showtime is finally stepping up the promotion of Deontay Wilder. I like it. I love it. It's awesome. You know what I'm saying? I like what they are doing with Wilder. They are finally stepping up to the level of promotion that he needs. You did. UGC up in the building. What's up, fam? The chick on the ad was super bad. Ain't gonna lie. What, the ad for this joint? I ain't see it all day. You know what I'm saying? What's up with you though? Shout out to the UGC. Man, I mean, I'm just saying, man. So my man popularity is rising with a bullet. Hats off to Deontay Wilder. All right, man, we're going to move right along. I know what y'all want to talk about, and we getting close to talking about it. Matter of fact, fuck it. Let's just go right on in. Keith is back. He is back. He is back. He is back. My main man, Keith, one-time Thurman, aka the final level. I haven't had a chance to really talk about this fight since it's been officially announced. Just kind of did some little around the edges talking about it, far as from a news perspective, but we ain't really got up in this joint. You hear me? Keith is back. Renee Box Young says, I got one time. Gambit the Boxing Novice says, nobody is knocking people out like Wilder at all. Going viral every knockout, son. Viral every single knockout. But when it comes to this fight right here, you say you got one time all day. You know, that's funny you say that, man, because when I've been looking at a lot of polls that's around the internet or whatever, and I started to do one on my own self, but I'm noticing that Manny Pacquiao is winning all of these polls. Every time when people put up a little poll or something like, yo, who wins between Pacquiao and Thurman? I'm noticing Pacquiao winning them joints. See, let me explain something. See, I don't want no problems with Pacquiao Nation because y'all are sick. Y'all are some sick individuals. I repeat, sick. S-U-C-K, sick. You know, y'all run around, you bombard people videos like some rabid wolves or something. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are sick. But I don't want no problems with Pac Nation. But your man, though, he getting buried. He's getting buried. You dig? Let me explain another thing. Keith Thurman, after this fight is over, will become a bigger villain. A bigger villain. Don Dada says, which 147 pay-per-view? Which 147 pay-per-view is the best fight? So far, I mean, I gotta go with Spencer and Porter. It ain't pay-per-view, but that's the best welterweight fight I'm seeing right now. Alec Cartier in the building. He says one time by UD all day. Lion Bar, what's up with you, Lion Bar? Where you been? Man, what about the flip side? You don't Google who Denzel Washington or The Rock are. Yeah, that's true. So you saying he more popular than them or something? Or they popular without people Googling them? Is that? Tell me what you mean by that, Lion Bar. Renee Box Young says Pac is a legend, but as Keith said, Pac needs to retire at the right time, man. Hey, man, hope it ain't too late, you know, or if he ain't doing too late. UGC Boxing Channel says crazy how dudes out here thinking Pacquiao gonna win. No problem. Shaking my head. Hey, Black, I don't know what the hell they thinking, son. I don't know what the hell they thinking, blood. I'm like, do y'all know that Keith Thurman is all wrong for Manny Pacquiao? Do y'all not understand that he stylistically, the things that he does in the ring are all wrong for Manny? You're talking about a fighter that has a complete toolbox versus an aging legend. I got my fair share of Manny Pacquiao moments myself. I'm a huge fan of Manny. Been rocking with Manny since he was down in the lower weights. But I gotta be realistic about this, Joe. Manny versus a Keith Thurman. I give Manny a better chance against Danny. I give Manny a better chance against Mikey. I give Manny a better chance. Nah, not with Earl. I'm gonna leave that alone. But the fact is, when it comes to Keith and Earl, those two right there at welterweight, in my opinion, are all wrong for Manny. All wrong, homie. You know what I'm saying? But make no mistake about it. Keith Thurman will become an even bigger villain when this is over. If you don't like the man now, you really are not going to like him when this shit is over. Trust me on that one. Trust me, because I already see the crap that he talking right now. Monty Brown in the building. What's up, homie? Fam right there. What's up with you? Everybody who hear the sound of my voice, please go subscribe to Monty Brown TV. But my deal is, you know, at the end of the day, I like Pac, but this is just all wrong for him. Oh, no, I want to get back on the point I was just making. Sorry. Keith Thurman will be an even bigger villain than he was prior to this, to beating Manny Pacquiao. And I'm going to tell you why. For one, I've already heard Keith Thurman say, when this fight is over, he is not fighting for the rest of the year. He's not taking questions about Spence. He's not taking questions about the other welterweights like Terrence. He's just not doing it right now. He's focusing on Pacquiao, and he's not fighting for the rest of the year. Well, that alone right there gonna piss a lot of people off. That alone right there, because Keith been up in the Himalayas, cooling, doing the rain dances. Nobody ain't seen him. Nobody ain't talked to him. And so now that you surface, you don't want nobody asking about Spence and Terrence? For real? So this is going to make him an even bigger villain all day. You hear me, though? I love it. Keith sitting back. You see the crap he talking? He said he going to crucify Manny Pacquiao. You like biblical terms? Well, I'm going to crucify you. He said Manny's a good little fighter, calling him a little fighter. Straight just shitting all over Manny. This is going to piss Pac Nation off. And on top of that, his stance of not fighting nobody and don't want to take no questions about Earl or Terrence, that's going to piss a lot of folks over here off. Keith is about to be the biggest villain in boxing. But whenever you call him a villain, remember to put hashtag the final level. Jonathan Fox says, I grew up on the Pacquiao Wars. It's going to be an honor watching Thurman retire a legend. Hashtag Fluke Gang. Hashtag the villain. God damn, son. UGC Boxing Channel says maybe they think that the last fight Thurman had with Lopez means he is done. Keith has been reignited with this fight. They don't seem to understand that, man. This is going to light the fire of Keith one-time Thurman. He coming back. I truly believe it. The man said this is his dream fight. He's been wanting this fight for years. He says he's been in there with veterans. He's been in there with everything. He has been wanting this fight for years. And he finally got it. I'm expecting Keith to make the best out of this opportunity. I'm serious. And because I'm going to be really looking at Keith real close here. Keith needs to dust Pacquiao, not just beat him. He needs to dust him. I mean, smoke him. I mean, get him up out of there. Send him home. Make him not want to come back to the ring no more. Make him realize that he is 40 years old and my time has passed. You need to get up in that joint and make it crystal. I mean, crystal. You hear me? And I'm expecting him to do that. I look at Keith's lateral movement. I look at his counter-punching ability. I look at the fact that even some of the things that he was successful against Jotacito Lopez, and that was the fact that countering Jotacito Lopez very successfully, hitting Jotacito Lopez between his punches. And one thing I do agree with what Keith said, Pacquiao has a pattern. He does the same stuff. It's like, yo, I mean, no matter what game plan him and Freddie are working on, Pacquiao goes back to that same 1-2-3 combination. It's the same shit. It's just going to be a matter of time before Thurman pick that shit off and keep moving and make the old man move. Make the old man move. I'm actually very proud of Pacquiao for picking this fight. I didn't think he'd do it. I thought he would look at Mikey. I thought he'd probably look at Danny. But he looked at the final level. He looked at the final level, though, son. That's crazy. But you know, the thing is, because Manny Pacquiao is such a legend, if Pacquiao loses, but loses valiantly and loses in a close fight, he'll be fine when it comes to his popularity. The Philippines are going to ride with him no matter what. Only time the Philippines will stop riding for Pacquiao is if he, you know, stop being a Christian and just start drinking and partying like he used to. But as long as he's this version Pacquiao doing what he does for the people, if he goes in there and he loses a close fight, they're going to love him. They still going to love him. And Pacquiao will still be a hot fight for anybody at welterweight because of his following. That's just being a buck. UGC says, Manny tripping, bruh. He tripped. Manny says, man, it's just talk. It's nothing. It's just talk. It's nothing. You know, Manny better take that shit serious, man. Because this has been a long time dream of Keith Thurman. This has not been just a fight the way he just popped up out of the blue. This has been something this man been wanting for a long time. Long time. So I don't know, man. I haven't heard anything about a rematch clause involved, so I don't think that there's going to be one involved. But at the end of the day, man, Keith does too many things just too damn good. Just too good. Battle Rifle says UD. I think Thurman is going to win by UD. D. I think so too. I think so too. Now, a lot of people ain't saying that he stops Manny. Is it because that Thurman hasn't had a stoppage in so long, so y'all don't think he stops Pacquiao? I don't know. Pacquiao do a lot of popping in and popping out, man. He can walk into one of them same shots that put Jotacito down. Thurman says it is a rematch clause. Okay, cool. Thanks, Marcus Davis. Appreciate that. So it is a rematch clause. So Pacquiao wants to go through that twice. Shit, Thurman to take 2 paydays. I don't know if it happens. Man. But at the end of the day, if Thurman, let's just fast forward a little bit, get a little bit ahead of ourselves. Hit that like button as y'all slide through up in this joint. If Thurman beats Manny Pacquiao, there's nothing else left. And I just got to be honest with y'all. Maybe this is why Thurman ain't coming back this year to fight. I know it frustrates y'all a little bit, but there's nothing else other than the final level. Other than Terrence and Earl, there's nothing left for Keith after Manny. Nothing. I think we'll get it, man. I think we'll get it. It does kind of irk me a little bit, though, that Thurman is making the biggest bag of money of his career. And then he's talking about not coming back this year. It's like, you know this already. You just know for sure you ain't coming back. You know, I do feel some type of way about that, but it is what it is. Then Dada says, Keith said that there's a rematch clause. Manny won't want it. Yeah. Well, all right, Manny. Well, you got the rematch clause. Will he enforce it? I just don't. A lot of people say that Keith is weak to the body. They say that Keith can't take body shots. When the last time has Manny Pacquiao thrown a body shot that made you turn down the volume of your TV? When is the last time that Manny has really gutted somebody to the body? If that's Keith's weakness, if that's his weakness. If you're one of them people that think Pacquiao has a chance of winning, I would love to hear from you. Because I want to know what is it that he can do at this age that will give Keith problems. Is it the hand speed? Some may say the hand speed, the angles, man, the angles. I don't think so, son. I just don't see it. Marcus Davis says, if it's a close fight, it's definitely going to be a rematch. If Thurman dominates him, I doubt it be a rematch. Yeah, that's true. I could definitely see that all day. Against Matisse, okay. He hurt him to the body? Matisse ain't done though, bro. Matisse he's done. He just lost to the young boy, didn't he? He done, man. I don't know. She in bad shape. He got that dad bod going on right now. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. My man UGC says, man, I see Terrence and Earl clout chasing already. They feeling some type of way that he landed that Pacquiao fight and will potentially do better pay-per-view numbers than both with Manny. Yeah, I agree. And guess what, UGC? That then puts my main man back up at number 1 comfortably, because then he would have the pay-per-view numbers to go along with his victories and resume and accomplishments, and you wouldn't have an argument who's the number 1 welterweight again. The argument will go back that Keith is number 1. If he tops, what do they say, 360,000 for Earl and Mikey? If he tops that, which I'm thinking we expecting him to do that, at the argument goes back that Keith is the top dog. You can't argue with this. Now you can have your love for a certain fighter, but when it comes to when the rubber meets the road, you can't argue with that Keith will still be number 1. You just can't argue with it. I'm expecting Sean Porter versus Earl to do huge numbers. It's going to be on Fox. If they do this on Fox, which shit, I ain't mad at them. If they do this on Fox, I expect the numbers to be through the roof, without a doubt. But we all know regular TV numbers and pay-per-view numbers. I'm just saying, though. As Alex Cartier says, man, this fight does 400,000 pay-per-views easy. Yeah, man, I agree. Lewis Coleman in the building. What's up, fam? Yeah, son. Hey, and Lewis, you, sir, have graduated to getting a blue suit. Welcome to the Blue Suit Crew. Lewis Coleman, who has supported me for a very, very long time. My main man You will now have a blue suit, sir. You dig? If you see somebody talking reckless, get them out of here. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, man. Alex Cartier says this fight this okay, yeah. About my fucking time. My bad, fam. My bad. You right. I should have been through that joint to you. You right all day. I just noticed that you wasn't in blue. Silver Salomo 2011 in the building. What's up, fam? What's up with you? Yeah, man. But yeah, like I was saying though, man, like, yo, man, I just think that it's just like I said, stylistically is all wrong. And I don't know what Manny does that will honestly get Keith the problems. I don't think I think he has great footwork, but I think he can be timed. Marquez showed us that, Floyd showed us that. And I think Keith is capable of doing those things. I just don't know what Manny does. I just don't know. And I've been studying it for a long time. You did. Like my man UGC was just saying, though, man, y'all gotta stop that clout chasing, man. I don't know, man. I see Earl a little pissed off. I heard him. He came out and said something about he not fighting in August. I don't know what that's about. I don't know if that's about. I'm gonna holler at the homie Manny. Maybe Manny can tell me. Manny, if you're still there, why do you know anything about why Earl said that he's not going to fight in August? Hit me up, homie. Hit me up. I truly don't know why he said that. I don't know if it's a pay-per-view thing. I don't know if it's an NFL football season just about to get underway and he don't want to, or if he wants to get on pay-per-view. I don't know what that's about. You know what I'm saying? So I really want to know what that's about. But they can't be doing this clout chasing because my man gonna fall back. He gonna do exactly what he did the first time around. He gonna come back, kick some ass, get an accomplishment, and then fall back and say, match it. And when you do, I'll be right here waiting for you. Match it. Pacquiao about to get buried, son. Buried. You know what I'm saying? Joe 56984 says a big part of Thurman's game is timing. He was off after the layoff, and he will look better against Pac all day. All day. Law Survivor says Keith doesn't have Marquez power. Keith hasn't had a decent knockout when stepping up in opponents. It's about 5 years now, Law Survivor. I think we're looking at about 5 years since Keith last KO. You're right. But you know, hey, man, sometimes, you know, that's what I'm asking. So is Pacquiao still considered like that good? Like, okay, I get it. He beat Bronny. He beat Matisse. I got you. But is Pac still that dude? He lost to Jeff Horn. I mean, is he still that dude that, you know, on such an elite level that he can't be stopped? I don't know if he's still that dude. I like Pac. I think he's lost a step. I think he's lost a step. I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't. I do think he lost a step. And he's becoming very predictable. So I don't know if he can or cannot be stopped, man. I just don't know. Silver Salomo 2011 says Pacquiao versus Thurman is a great matchup, and we need more great fights like this. The best fighting, the best. You know, the crazy thing is that Pac has the WBA regular. Keith has the WBA super. So this is actually a good thing. This is a good opportunity for the WBA to consolidate these belts and get rid of one of them shits. You know what I'm saying? This is the perfect opportunity right here. The WBA has been telling us for a long time that they've been looking for a way to get rid of all of their WBA belts. You know what I mean? All of these, like, even that's the one I missed. I wanted to talk about Marcus Brown upcoming fight. He's going to be fighting coming up, and he has the WBA interim title. Interim. Like, they have the interim, they have the regular, they have the super. They got too many damn belts. Well, here's a perfect opportunity with this fight for the WBA to sit down and say, you know what? Let's consolidate some of these belts. But I bet you it won't happen. It won't happen. UGC Boxing Channel says Pacquiao best chance is catching Keith late. We know Thurman does fade, but Pacquiao is old and didn't look too great versus AB. Yeah, you know, the thing is, he claimed he act like he was sick or something was wrong with him or something like that. But yeah, you know, Pac is still he still comes in great shape. That's the one thing you got to give to him. Thurman does fade, but that he fades against somebody that hits him downstairs. He fades against somebody. Pac still puts a big workload on you. Don't get me wrong, but Pac is very little by hitting him to the body. Pac don't go downstairs that much. Pac is a head hunting type fighter right now. He puts those little combinations together. Maybe one of the shots go downstairs, but for the majority of the shots he's throwing them upstairs. And I just don't, you know, without him constantly hitting Thurman on the ribs, constantly hitting Thurman on them hips, constantly hitting him in the stomach, like, I don't know, man. Thurman could probably go a good 9-10 rounds with Pac. Because all he got to do is play possum. Sit back and just wait and time him, turn him, time him, turn him, time him, time him. just time him and turn him. Marcus Davis says, I'm wondering who Terrence Crawford is going to fight next, though. He's stuck right now, and he can't get the PBC fighters. Yeah, I'm hoping, maybe Kell Brook. I remember we were talking about that, and they were saying that Kell Brook was actually interested in that fight. We seen Kell Brook ringside. I think that's a good stay busy fight for Terrence. You know what I mean? If Kell can make the weight at this point, I think and he's willing. Clearly, he's willing. You've seen him get into it with Terrence's sister and all that. I think the Kell Brook fight would be a respectable fight to keep Crawford busy. You know what I mean? Lewis Coleman says, this man said he hired 2 personal trainers. I heard that, man. The man said he hired 2 personal trainers. He is ensuring. I think he said strength and conditioning coaches, right? Yo, he is ensuring that he going up in that thing for a knockout. He wants to knock Pac ass out. And I'm looking at Keith, and I don't think Keith joking like he taking this lightly. He knows what knocking out a Manny Pacquiao can do for his legacy and career. Keith might go up in that thing and go for the stoppage, bruh. I mean, real talk. It's going to take a hell of a shot. Pac ain't going to just stay down off of just some weak. No, it's going to take a hell of a shot. And Pac don't tire out. So it's going to take a hell of a shot. But if he got 2 strength and conditioning trainers, god damn, son. You really going for it, yo. You really going for it. Lewis Coleman says, Gambit the boxing novice says, is Keith or Pacquiao ranked on the pound for pound list? Good question. It all depends on if he's talking top 10 or top 5. I don't have Keith in my top 5, I will admit, but I do have him in my top 10. I don't got him in the top 5 though. I just can't I can't take any of my top 5 guys out and put either. Now Pacquiao, that is, it's like when you reach legendary status, you almost kind of don't get like putting legends on the pound for pound rankings, because it's like if you say no, you're going by what they've done lately and all that. But it's like their career is so great where you don't want to diminish them outside of that. You know what I mean? And it's like, damn, how can I say Pacquiao is not on the pound for pound list, but he is the great Manny Pacquiao? You know what I mean? Soon to be buried Manny Pacquiao. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's like, I don't got Keith on there. And Pac, I'll just say NA. Lewis Coleman says, Bronner don't throw no punches, plus Pac looks slow in his footwork with Bronner. Not to mention, Bronner had some good timing shots on Manny. I went back and looked at several highlights of that fight, and there was a lot of points that Bronner did. I don't know if you probably caught it off your initial viewing, but Bronner was catching Manny coming in with a lot of shots. More shots than I initially saw. And, maybe this is why Bronner run around. I beat that boy. You ain't beat nothing. But at the end of the day, you did do a lot more than I probably initially gave him credit for after going back and watching that fight. I mean, real talk. In the middle rounds, man, Bronner was hitting him with some lead straights, and he was connecting on Manny. I'm telling you, he was hitting him with some lead hooks, and he was connecting on Manny. They were grazing him in a lot of cases, but he was connecting. I'm telling you. UGC says, dude's big mad, ponytail back on the scene, but now in a big way. Watch the hate videos come out. Hey, they gonna come out by the boatloads, bruh. Hey, they gonna come out. It's gonna be so bad. I can't wait. I'm just gonna sit back and laugh at them shits. I'm expecting the usual suspects to come out and straight clown my man. Ain't that right, Black Fight fan? I know you hear me, homie. I'm expecting for certain individuals to come out and give my man the bee's knees, and I'm going to be laughing because when he has the best pay-per-view numbers at welterweight, when he has been like the only unified welterweight in God knows when he has the accomplishments of saying, I have beaten the next 2 right up under me at welterweight, and no one else has done it. I'm going to say, how you going to argue with that? How you going to argue with that? All you got to do is beat him. But the hate is going to be epic, fam. It's going to be epic. Danny has that silver belt. Yeah, Danny's next in line. Danny's trying to go back after the belt that he's already lost, that he should have never had in the first place because he beat Robert Guerrero for it. At the end of the day, Danny, I like the fact that they not at least putting him in a mandatory position. I like the fact that they're making him fight his way back. If you fight your way back, I got nothing but respect for you. You deserve your shot. I'm not the type of cat to get hung up on losses. You lose, you get knocked down a few ranking points. Guess what? You get back in there, you beat up on these Joe six packs, and you put yourself back in position for a title shot. If that's what Danny does, I support it 100%. But there's talks about Danny versus Mikey, right? They talking about trying to make a Danny versus Mikey. Last I heard. I mean, I tell you something, I'm still a little on the fence about that fight, but because I really want Mikey to go to 140, but I like that. I like it in a way, but I don't like it because I want to see Mikey go to 140 and face Regis or Josh. I want that, man. I want to see that bad. You know what I'm saying? Keith Thurman, Battle Rifle says Keith Thurman better retire after Pac. Nah, he ain't gonna retire. Why would he retire after Pac? If he retires after Pac, Keith Thurman will be forever clowned. Forever clown, and I'm a Keith Thurman fan. If Keith Thurman retired after he beat Pacquiao, he should be he deserves to be forever clown. And I hate to say this, but because I don't like for certain individuals to hear it, but I got to keep it a buck. Keith has to fight Earl or Terrence. It's not of debate. It's not in the cards. Now, when that's his preference, that's whatever he wants to do. But he can't leave the division. And he cannot retire without fighting Earl or Terrence. It just can't happen. Keith may be in the number one position right now, but he cannot leave. He can't go to 54. He can't go to the Himalayan mountains and chill with his wife and them. He can't do none of that stuff. He can't go play the flute by the waterfall while the fish is jumping out. He can't do these things unless he faces Earl or Terrence first. He got to, man. It won't be a complete career. He'll be regretting every day that he did not fight these dudes. He'll be in his old age at 65 years old, sitting back looking like Riddick Bowe, like wishing he would have fought Lennox Lewis back in the day just to do it. I mean, at this point, when you don't want to live with regrets. And if Keith got out of the sport before fighting Earl or Terrence, he would live with a huge regret. Huge regret. You know what I mean? So I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. Dundada says Pac-Man is number 10 now, pound for pound. Number 10, man, I will have to sit down and go over that list, bro, because I don't know you saying he makes it right at number 10. I don't know, bro. I can't because if I put Manny in there, then that means I will have to throw Earl or throw other fighters at welterweight in there because they have better accomplishments and they've been doing bigger and better things. I can't put Manny in the top 10, right? I don't know, man. I got to go down over that list, but that's just I don't like to include Manny the same way that we don't include heavyweights into our pound for pound rankings. Including a Manny and a Floyd, it's like you did. Even when Cotto was still fighting, even when it's just certain fighters that once you've achieved legendary status, I know there's no rule saying that you don't include them in the pound. I just don't feel right including them in the pound. Once they've best is already behind them, they've done what they've left the legacy that they're going to leave in boxing. Right now, they're just fighting for money or just for the love of the game. I don't like to include them on pound for pound list. That's just me, though. You know what I mean? That's just me. UGC says soon to be buried all day. All day. Marcus Davis says, I can't see Thurman stopping Manny unless he catch him with a shot that he didn't see coming, like what Marquez did. He caught Manny coming in time he didn't see it coming. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Manny got a tough bid on him too. You know what I mean? That's what I was saying earlier. Like, it's gonna be tough. Thurman had to hit him with the perfect shot. And those two strength and conditioning trainers that he supposedly has, they better be earning every cent. They got to be working hard for the money. You know what I'm saying? And it's the only way. It's the only way. Dundada 147, number 1, T-Bug Crawford. Number 3, Ugas. Ugas, number 3. Number 2, Earl Spence Jr. Number 3, Ugas. Okay, Dundada, you my main man. But why isn't Keith on your list? Riddle me that. Please explain. Why isn't Keith the final level Thurman? The most accomplished welterweight of today, aside from Manny Pacquiao. Why isn't he on your list, Dundada? Riddle me that, and I will be waiting, sir, for your reply. Jonathan Fox says, Thurman is different from the rest. I could see him meditating on a glacier or something. The final level is upon us. Yes, sir. That's what he do. You did. What do you think he get all his strength from? It's them damn glaciers. At the end of the day, man, Keith, one thing that you're not going to say that he has not done is study his opponents. One thing that he does better, that's why he'll be an awesome boxing commentator. I mean, awesome. I love it when Keith commentates. He knows his shit because he studies. He studies the movements. He studies the patterns. He studies. He knows his limitations, what his body can and cannot do, how his body will or will not react to certain punches or things like that. And I think when he looks at Manny and he overall just processes Manny, he doesn't think at 40 years old. And I got to keep saying that at 40 years old to Pac Nation, at 40 years old, he don't think that Manny has nothing that he can do that he don't see coming. Now, there could be overconfidence. Don't get me wrong. There can be a little bit of overconfidence. But at the end of the day, I think Keith got him, man. I think Keith is way all wrong for him, bro. I think he's way all wrong. Dundada says Shields the number 2 pound for pound all day. All day. All day. I'm with that 100. I'm with that 100. Valkyries in the building. Keith better back it up with his LA fitness training self. Hey, come on, man. My man trains in the Himalayas up in this joint, man. Get it right, Valkyries. He trains in the Himalayas right beside white tigers. You dig. And genies and shit. You know what I'm saying? UGC says that battle rifle, Vada or nada all day. Battle rifle. Okay. Yeah, we know. Y'all too, man. All right. Like my man UGC says, man, hit that like button for me as y'all sliding up in this joint, man. Unbiased in the building. Unbiased boxing talk. What's up with you? People sleeping on Keith. I can see Keith KOing Manny all day, Mo. All day. I can see it. I don't think it happens, but I can certainly. Man, look, hey, unbiased. They talking about the man has 2 strength and conditioning coaches or personal trainers or whatever. The man is gearing up for a knockout. No, trust and believe Keith did not want to be all smiles at that press conference. It's just that Manny little goofy ass be all smiles, but Keith serious, man. I can hear it. I can feel the energy. Keith is serious. Keith wants to stop this man, and when he does, because he knows what this does for him. This puts just a little bit more separation between him and the rest. And that's Keith's goal right now. He just want to keep on applying separation between him and Earl, him and Terrence. He just wants to keep on applying separation. If he one-ups him in the pay-per-view department, and then also has the accomplishments that he has, and on top of that, has a legend on his resume, we ain't got nothing to talk about. I'm telling y'all, man. I'm telling y'all, man. All day. All day. Joe 56984 says if Keith stretches Manny, that's a bigger statement than Earl pitching a shutout against Mikey. I think so. And you know what, Joe? That honestly could be his motivation. I didn't even think about that, man. That honestly could be his motivation. We all gave Earl all the credit in the world for outboxing Mikey because it was something we never seen before. It was a new dimension to his game. And he got credit on top of credit on top of credit. I was even shocked by it. I was sitting back like, oh, shit. Yo, look at Earl, man. Outboxing. Look at him putting that jab. That 1-2 looking good. Put Mikey in the mixing bowl. Made that man go into the twilight zone, and he still ain't found his way out. At the end of the day, it was a beautiful, beautiful performance. It was a beautiful performance. But Keith can one-up it. Keith can one-up it by stopping Manny. And then he goes back to say, well, here I am on top of this mountaintop again. Ain't nobody else to join me. We're going to be playing this game, ladies and gentlemen, until they fight, period. We're going to be playing this one-up you one-up me game all the way up to the point that they fight. And I truly believe that we're closer to that fight than we all know. You know what I mean? Dundada says AB versus T-Bud. Man, AB don't want that work. AB gonna come out and say, I need 25 million. You know what I'm saying? I need 25 million. If I'm gonna go over there and fight for Bob and them, he gonna need 25 million or 30 million or some crazy shit. Shakur J says, how is that a bigger statement when Manny has been knocked out a few times? Because Mikey was a smaller fighter. And it's like, When the last time Manny's been knocked out? He ain't been knocked out since Marquez. I mean, truth be told, of today's heavyweights, Keith will be the only one that has literally knocked out a legend. No, that to me is a bigger thing. Mikey to me was a smaller guy coming up in weight. I don't know what he think he saw or whatever it is may be, but it's just that when you throw that into the fight that he fought a smaller guy, that hurts the standing when you put it next to Keith knocking out Manny Pacquiao, especially while Manny Pacquiao has a title. You know, it's not like this is a titleless Manny Pacquiao. And I ain't crapping on what Earl did. Don't get it twisted. I ain't crapping on what he did by far. What he did was awesome. But in comparison to Keith knocking out Manny over Earl outboxing Mikey, I gotta take Keith out knocking out Manny. Something ain't happened since Marquez, bro. Since Marquez. It's been a minute. You know what I'm saying? It's been a minute. I think that's real, man. Lewis Coleman says the hate is real. Shakur J, cut it out. Cut it out. You hear me? Rocket Strikes 89 in the building. What's up, fam? What up, young? Did you catch Keith manning up on Fred with the answer for Spence? Nah, I ain't see that. I definitely got to see that because Keith wanted to act like he ain't had nothing to say about Earl. So he went at it with Fred. I would look into that, man, all day. All day. Unbiased Boxing Talk says, nah, where you see that? Where you see that, UGC? What'd you say? Oh, I'm sorry. UGC Boxing says that unbiased or biased Boxing Talk. You see how salty Earl and Crawford are right now. Oh man, a pile of salt over there, man. It's a pile of salt. Then Dada says, has AJ had one first round KO? Not that I can recall. It's a good question. I know Wilder had quite a few, but I don't recall AJ having the. Wilder got a few of them though. Yeah, Wilder got quite a few of them. You know what I mean? Okay, y'all wrapping it up. We talking boxing. I got the homie Evan up in the building. What's up with you, Evan Perez? Marcus Davis. What if Spence stopped Sean Porter though? A fighter Keith Thurman couldn't stop. That's just as much as a statement if Thurman stops Manny. I agree with that, Marcus. I agree with that. If Spence can stop Sean, something that Kell Brook couldn't do, something that Keith couldn't do, something that Danny couldn't do, that is a bigger statement. Sean is the current WBC champion. That is a bigger statement, without a doubt. Without a doubt. But when it comes to the Mikey thing, I think nah. But when it comes in there, if he stops Porter, oh yeah, that's the passes what Keith doing with Manny. I'm sorry. I'm keeping it a buck with you. It's up there, but nah, man. That's a huge statement. That's the statement heard around boxing right there. That's something that's gonna have us buzzing and talking for about a month. Bro, that's going to power Earl Spencer to another level of just overall popularity. It's something that big. And that's the same thing, say, with Keith and Manny. If Keith stops Manny, that ups his overall popularity. Anything that ups your overall popularity, it's just, come on, man. You know what I mean? And that would take Earl to the next stratosphere, Joe. To stop Showtime Sean Porter, something that none of them couldn't do, man, that's huge, bro. That's huge, man. That's huge all day. All day. Joe says, you never know with the older fighters. Bernard Hopkins went from going 12 against Kovalev to getting knocked out in the ring against Joe Smith in one fight. Yeah, I mean, you never know what to expect. You know, time waits for no man. You can't, that's one thing you're going to never outrun, and that's time. And so, you never know when Manny may get old overnight. And he fights as a volume puncher. It's not like he fights, say, like a B-Hop did, like where he's more calculated or more technical. Manny fights as a volume puncher. That's when he's at his best. When he's throwing a lot of punches around, constantly keeping you busy, constantly keeping punches on you, constantly making you adjust and making you think. That's when Manny is at his best. At 40 plus years old, I ain't saying it's going to happen in this fight, but he's at a point in his career where it can happen at any fight. And if Manny can't be a volume puncher, to me, that's his biggest strength. That's the number one thing that Manny has always had over other fighters. His ability to throw all of these damn punches from all of these damn angles. It's almost like he's an octopus up in that joint. And so that's what I'm saying, man. So I don't know, man. I don't know if he's gonna be able to put that much volume on Keith, but we'll see. And you can't get old overnight, man. We'll see. UGC says Manny is a welterweight and a legend. That's way better than outboxing a lightweight. But credit to Earl for showing that dimension to his skills all day. And that's what I was saying. Like, but that's what we was more blown away than anything about. Like, we didn't know that dimension existed. We heard little whispers about it. We've heard little talks about it, like it was a unicorn or something. But at the end of the day, we never knew it existed. When he displayed that, that's what made everybody give him full credit and say that was very impressive. And to do it against him, that's good. That's Mikey Garcia. We thought who would win the boxing war, but when it came to the actual fight, we thought Earl would win it. Well, he shocked us because he won both. But that doesn't stop Keith knocking out Manny. That doesn't top that. You know what I mean? Shakur J says, to be real, I wasn't really impressed. Hold on, sorry about that. The thing just jumped. Okay. To be real, I wasn't really impressed with what EJ did because I expected that. Just like when Keith beats Manny, it's nothing to me because Manny is a 40-year-old man who is this fighting for money. But see, we can't have it both ways, Shakur. If Manny doesn't fight the young gunners, we criticize him saying, oh, he ain't fighting nobody. He's just hanging around the sport and he's doing this and he's doing that. So when he does fight a young lion, you got to give credit where credit is due. I mean, look, man, we've seen this play out many a times in boxing. If you've been watching boxing for a long time, the old legend always has to pass the torch eventually. It happens. We've seen this happen many a times. Now, though, I expect for Keith to beat Manny without a doubt. I don't know that we got to see it. Manny is still Manny, man. It's still a Manny Pacquiao in there. How much of him is in there? Well, we'll just got to wait and see. But a Manny, a version of him still exists, and he still wants to fight. Most importantly, this ain't the biggest money fight that Manny could have made. Manny could have went and got probably a bigger bag with Danny or Mikey, truth be told. So this ain't the biggest bag he probably could have made. I mean, you see they talking about putting Danny and Mikey on pay-per-view. So that lets you know that somebody over there is a pay-per-view attraction. If he wanted to really capitalize, he would have went after the other pay-per-view attraction. He's a pay-per-view star. I need another one. We make big numbers. We make big money. But instead, he chose the fighter who we barely seen in the last couple of years, but he's considered the number one welterweight. So I can't say it's for money. You know what I mean? No. Dundada says, salute Battle Royal all day. Unbiased or biased boxing talk says, yeah, if Spence stops Sean, that's a bigger statement. All day. I agree. All day. Lewis Coleman says, well, if I am crapping on Earl, because enough is enough. Algieri, Ocampo, Little Mikey, shell of himself, Peterson, Earl is a hype job, period. I can't go that far. You know, man. I feel you, though. Hey, that's not the most knock you off your feet ass and resume. But there's a reason, Lewis, that he is avoided. You know, that's just what we got to keep it a buck on. Like, there's a reason why no one wants to fight this man like that. There's a reason why everyone has high demands to fight Earl. There's a reason why, like they locked him out the clubhouse. You did. There's a reason for that. It ain't just because, you know, they don't like Earl. No, it's because they know what they in for when they take on that fight. And, you know, that's why I applaud Sean Porter for stepping up to the plate. We rode him hard for it, but I applaud him for doing it. And those list of fighters that you announced from the Algerians and the Ocampos and the Little Mikes, they only exist because no one else wanted to step up. It's not like he craved those fights. I don't think he did, you know. The only one that I seen Earl get out of the way from was Ugas. And that was the only one. And that's because Earl didn't feel like he was popular enough. But I think the only reason that Algerians and the Ocampos and the Little Mikes are all there is because there's no one else. No one else ain't wanted it. I mean, you literally had IBF fighters getting the fuck out of the IBF. You know, Konstantin Ponamarev, Omar Figueroa. You know, all of these guys got out of the way of Earl Spence Jr. And they were ranked right up under him in the IBF. The list goes longer than that. So, I mean, though, you know, that's why I always say Keith is number one on accomplishments. Keith is number one all day. But to Earl's credit, I'm not saying that he cannot one day be number one. It's just that he hasn't got the workload to do it right now. You did, and that's just keeping it a buck, you know. But maybe, who knows? One day, maybe. Who knows? Rocket Strikes 89 says, you say unbiased, he's had enough. Yeah, Lewis, hey, that's what Lewis do. Lewis let it out, man. Lewis let it be known. Look, no, it is what it is. You did. Rocket Strikes 89 says Earl had to worry about Porter instead of trolling Keith. Just because people think you are a killer doesn't mean you should act like one, especially when you know that you're not. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, Earl got his hands full with Sean, man. Earl got his hands so full with Sean. And Sean ready, man. Sean gonna be training out here in DC. He gonna be over at up at Headbangers with Barry Hunter and them. So hey, Sean going, I wonder about that too, because remember before he fought Ugas, he trained out here. This is when he bagged up his own gym that he had in Vegas, shut it down, and he came out here to train with Barry. I wonder, is that time change affecting Sean one way or another? I don't know, but he needs to get up off the East Coast a little earlier than a couple days. He needs to get back on that West Coast time way more earlier than he did last time. That's something I meant to mention in his last fight against Ugas. I thought he left way too late. Way too late. Battle Rifle says, I would love to see Earl versus Jamel. Earl got work to do at 147. You know what I mean? He got a lot of work to do at 147. I don't want to see Earl leave. It's like I don't want to see Keith leave. It's like Keith, I say Keith can't leave. Earl can't leave. Earl and Keith cannot leave welterweight. They got too much unfinished business. Too much. And they will never forgive themselves if they don't make up for lost time at welterweight. You know what I mean? UGC says if Spence stops Porter, that's a huge statement, but I doubt he will, though. It's gonna be interesting, man. You know, when we get a little closer, we can chop it up about that one. I don't know, man, how that one ends. Oh, man, I don't think Sean Porter's boxing skills is as good as he makes people believe they are. Like Ugas, to me, outboxed. You know what I mean? I thought Ugas actually won the fight. I don't like Sean as a boxer. I know a lot of people don't like him as a mauler, and they don't like him as a halfback, running back, fullback, whatever you want to call him back. But I don't like him as a boxer. It's just, to me, he's not the great. He does nothing great. You know, he doesn't have the greatest jab. He doesn't have the greatest hand speed. He doesn't have the greatest footwork. Like, he does nothing great. But when he is that mauler fighting on the instinct that he fights off, that's what made him into Showtime Sean Porter. That's what got him the stoppage over Devin Alexander and Paulie Malignaggi. And that's what got him the victories over Andre Bertos and Adrian Bronas, being that dude. You know, and I thought he would have had more success against Ugas if he would have been that dude. I'm not big on Sean Porter as a boxer. I got the homie Ronnie Boy Fresh in the building. What's up, fam? What's up with you? What's up with you, man? Let's see. He says Omar was shelved just like Collazo for calling out the PBC champion. Who you talking about? For calling out Spence, or for calling out? You saying for calling out Spence? Man, Omar can't stay right, man. You know that, Ronnie boy. He can't stay healthy. He can't stay run-ins with the law. I'm a huge Omar Figueroa fan. That's my main man. You know what I'm saying? But Slim just can't get right. It's like every time you turn around, he got something going on. Remember, he was scheduled to face Adrian Broner. That fight fell apart because he had caught a DUI or something stupid like that. It's always something with Omar, man. You know what I'm saying? All day. Dundada says, T-Bud Crawford, fighter of this decade. Hey, man, I feel you. T-Bud, that's my man, but he got work to do. It's the chicken wings and mumbo sauce. Oh, hey, you got some chicken wings? You get them Jones from, man? What curry out you go to, man? All day. Mama Sounds on Kenworth Avenue, son. That's the best one. Best chicken wings and mumbo sauce you gonna find in the city all day. Battle Rifle says Earl can beat Mel, though. Probably not everyone, though. Mel got his hands full with an upcoming fight with Tony Harrison, man. And Tony Harrison is standing in his ground, and he's looking like a more confident, more sure fighter this time around. I don't know, bro. He got his hands full. And I think, both men honestly got their hands full. They need to just worry about what's in front of them right now, and anything extra, like you talking, that shit got weight, man. Sean Porter and Tony Harrison, man, their hands are full. UGC says, yeah, I picked Spence by decision. I agree. Ugas should have won that WBC belt. He outboxed Sean to me. Yeah, bro. I just don't like Ugas as a boxer, and I thought, yeah, he did win that belt. But it's not the big money. It ain't a sexy fight. You know what I'm saying? So of course they're not gonna give Ugas. Ugas got another tough opponent coming up. I don't know if you heard. Ugas is taking on Omar Figueroa. That's gonna be a hell of a fight, Black. That's going to be a hell of a fight. You know what I'm saying? Hell of a fight. Unbiased says Spence went from strap season to business season, and you across the street. Easy out promotions. Hashtag easy out promotions. Damn. Oh, easy route promotions. Damn. You ain't lying, bro. I gotta give it to you there, man. He went from free smoke to business smoke. Yes, sir. He is now waking up every morning, watching the news, eating his bagel with some coffee, taking his briefcase out to the gym. That's exactly what he's doing. Kush Hayes says, I think in this one is hard. Fight for Thurman, G. Yeah, I think in this one is hard. Fight for Thurman, G. It's a hard fight for Thurman. I mean, I don't know, Mo. I think, like I said before, I think Manny fought Matisse much better than he fought Adrian Bronner, without a doubt. But I didn't see nothing in that Adrian Bronner fight that if Keith Thurman is on his A game. Now, I ain't saying that Keith don't have to be on his A game. Keith got to be on his A game. The timing got to be right. The ability, he has to be able to use his lateral movement. Manny don't like movers. Manny don't like movers. Keith can move. Keith can move and punch. Manny don't like that. You know, I was listening to Manny. They asked Manny, they say, Manny, why did you accept Keith Thurman? Why didn't you accept the other people? And he was just like, you know, because we'll give the fans a good fight. Manny has this notion that Keith is going to stand right there in front of him. Manny, I don't know if you've been studying, bruh, but Keith ain't going to stand there. Keith going to use lateral movement. Keith going to try to bait you in the traps. And Keith is not going to stand there and allow you to get 3-4 punch combinations off. Just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen. Bagels in a briefcase all day, Black. I'm telling you, man. My man is my business on this. Rocket Strikes 89 says Keefe is my ace boom, my favorite fighter at 147. Been a believer since the beginning, but Keefe got to be more active and put the flute down for a brick. Man, hey, Rocket, man, hey, I don't know if you heard it earlier, man. Keefe then came out and stated that, yo, he ain't fighting no more this year. This is it. After he fights Manny Pacquiao, my man hitting the road. He gone. He don't want to talk about Terrence. He don't want to talk about Earl. He out of here. He see in 2020. And that's what I was saying, man. You know, he is making a lane for himself to be the biggest villain in boxing. Oh, it's like we the only ones hanging in there for him. He pissing everybody off. He about to piss off Pacquiao Nation because he about to bury Manny's ass. And then on top of that, he pissing off a lot of the fans here because he ain't active enough. My man Final Level is carving out a special place in the villain lane right for him. Everybody gonna be at his neck. Everybody. And I already know Ronnie Boy Fresh gonna be at his neck. What did he say? Ponytail Keith is forcing Spence Jr. to take that Boogeyman Bud challenge. Keith says Spence ain't getting a shot no time soon. You might got a point, Mo. You trying to say he pushing him towards but my thing is, if Earl knows that Keith don't want to smoke, and y'all can feel however you want to feel behind it, whatever, then why don't you just go fucking fight Terrence? There ain't nothing else after Sean. You'll be a unified champion. You want to keep on your quest for belts. Well, there's 2 more belts left. Terrence and Keith. Go get Terrence, man. Go get Terrence. Keith is trying to look. Y'all be thinking I be joking when I call Keith the Final Level. It's not so much that Keith is just so great. It's just the fact that he is positioning himself to be the final fight. It's going to be like Ken versus Ryu up in this joint. He is positioning himself to be the final. He wants to be the final fight before it's all said and done. That's what he wants. He's been wanting that for a while. Listen to his words. You keep doing what you're doing, young buck, and we'll meet. You keep doing what you're doing. He looking at Earl like sonning him. Like, okay, you keep doing what you're doing. Eventually you'll get up here and get like me. And then we can see each other. Keith has always positioned himself that way. He has positioned himself to be the final level. You know what I mean? Real talk. King bows up in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Keith M. Bison Thurman, Black all day. You know what I mean? Slim, you going to the MGM Harbor? Yeah, I'm thinking about to see that Devin Haney fight. I'll probably be in the building. I'm thinking about going, son. You gonna be up in that joint, Ronnie boy? Yeah, I'm thinking about going. I wouldn't mind. I was honestly, remember when I saw you, I was telling you, I was like, man, I'm not 100 if I was gonna go because I wasn't sure. Even if they took off Usyk, you know what I mean? But I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go, bro. Sunday, right? I think I'm gonna go. Keith is changing right before our eyes. Rocky Strikes 89. Yeah. I think Keith know what he doing. I know a lot of us hate it and it frustrates us, but bruh, I'm telling you, it's almost this bullshit Floyd Mayweather thing, man. Like playing the villain, everybody want to come see you lose type thing. And I really think that Keith is embracing it. Like he is embracing the role that he already know he's too far in to go back to being the Keith that everyone loved. So I think he's starting to embrace the Keith that everyone hates because either lane is profitable. You know what I mean? So I mean, I think that's what's going on for him to come flat out and just state, I'm not fighting so early in the year, just to know for sure after Manny Pacquiao, I'm not fighting no more until next year. To know that for sure. Oh, he gonna piss so many people off, man. Thurman about to have everybody in their feelings. Oh, bruh. Memes. You're gonna be seeing videos dedicated to it. Keith is this, Keith is that, Keith is this, Keith is that. Oh my God. Keith gonna be sitting back and just soaking it up like, my time coming. My time. I'm gonna have everybody so pissed off that the day, if and when the day that him and Earl or him and Terrence do fight, everybody, they mamas, they sisters, they cousins, the dog, the cat, the goldfish, everybody gonna be watching that fight. Everybody. Gambling on yourself. Damn. Lewis Coleman says Thurman needs to get him a cape for his ring entrance at Ronnie Boy Fresh. Come on, Lewis, man. Go ahead. The daughter says parking lot on the racetrack. Parking lot on the racetrack. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If y'all wow, man. Y'all going all the way in. And that IBF, Ronnie Boy Fresh says, UGC says Keith M. Bison Thurman all day. Ronnie Boy Fresh says, and that IBF don't play with Mando. So Spence Jr. gotta cross that street one way or another. The IBF Mando would be who? That would be off the top of my head. I can't think of it right now. Who would be that IBF Mando, Ronnie Boy Fresh? I wonder who would that be? Because you're right, they don't play. And it should be almost about Mando time. You're right about that. Word of the day in the building. What's up with you? Keith wants to cash out. Not yet. Still a little too early. This is not the cash out fight. This will be the biggest fight of his career thus far. I mean, biggest financial gain of his career thus far. But I can't say this is a cash out fight. There's bigger fish to fry. You know what I mean? UGC says, you think Thurman is playing a major mind game on the sport? Yeah, I do. See, that's how he is. And that's why everyone's so frustrated and that people don't understand. Keith makes this shit up in his head, man. Like Keith sits back and he's evaluating. No, I don't see Keith going to 154. Now, I do see Keith cashing out at 147, but he's going to do it at his own pace. He's not going to let people rush him into these fights because he's saving them for certain and special times. I think he maybe goes out with either Earl or Terrence. It's going to be one of them. And I don't think Keith goes to 54. I think he values other things in life more than boxing at this point, but he is setting himself up in a way. So when I do these fights, it's going to be remembered for years. And y'all going to remember the mark that I left on boxing because I beat your favorite fighter. That's called the final level. That's called thinking out the box. That's called AKA King Bowser, Keith one-time Thurman. That's how he do. The power of the flute. Kush Hayes says, Pac-Man is old for Thurman, but Pac-Man still fast. Thurman is better. The Pac-Man for me, 2-by-1. Thurman have more skills than Pac-Man. Yeah, I mean, I think from a skill point of view, youth, power, the lateral movement, Pacquiao. The only thing I'll give Pacquiao over Keith is maybe the experience edge. You can't take that away from Pacquiao. He's seen it all, done it all. But, I mean, come on, man. I mean, time waits for no man. And Thurman is a young, strong 30-year-old fighter who has not been beaten and has been in there with the best at the division. As for Manny, he has not beaten the best at the division in a number of years. You know what I mean? And I'm not dissing Manny by far. I'm just telling it like it is. Manny he struggled with the Jeff Horns of the world. You know what I mean? I mean, didn't even want to get in there for a rematch because Pac know he lost that fight. Yeah, Pac Nation, he lost that fight. I thought he lost to Jeff Horn. He underestimated Jeff Horn. But at the end of the day, you know, I think Pac has lost a step. And it ain't no diss. It's just aging. It's natural. It happens to everyone. You know what I mean? Ronnie Boy Fresh says Keith ain't cashing out. He milking fight dates and building fights all day. I agree. That's basically what I said in the nutshell. He's spreading them out. He's sizing everybody up, getting everybody emotionally involved one way or another. And when this fight happens, it's going to be huge. Do you not know if Keith does what he's going to do to Manny, if Earl beats Sean Porter, do you know how much air that it gives a Keith Thurman versus Earl Spence fight? Y'all fans out there, big ups to the champions out there. But yo, y'all may be mad at Keith, pissed off all this shit. But the day that fight gets announced, you're going to clear your calendar. You're going to stop everything you got going on that date, and you're going to watch that fight. You know, it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Lewis Coleman says, if you paid attention to Thurman interview on AB's channel, he said he should beat Pac, then fight Crawford instead of Earl to make people mad. Damn. Oh, he having a good time with this, Lewis. That means he is having a good time pissing people off. That wouldn't make me mad. Shit, him and Crawford, bro, I'd be turned. I'd be super happy to hear that. Him and Crawford, man, all day. That's probably even just as good of a fight. Shit, man. He may make Earl fans mad. He may make Earl a little pissed off. But nah, man, I'd be good with that. You know what I'm saying? I will be. But either way, I mean, even if he fought Crawford next, if he beats, he is not going nowhere until he fights Earl. I just don't see it. I just don't see Al letting that through. I don't see Al letting that happen, man. Al Heyman ain't gonna sit back and got two of the best welterweights in the world and not put them in there with each other. I mean, if that happens, bro, I got a whole video waiting on that. Marcus Davis says if Thurman beats Manny, hold on, just jumped on me. Okay, Marcus Davis says if Thurman beats Manny and if he don't fight Spence, then yeah, Spence going to have to fight Bud to try to make a fight with Bud, because who else is out there? I know nobody don't want to see him and Danny Garcia. Well, just like Ronnie Boy said earlier, he always got that Mando to hide against because the IBF is real serious about their mandatories. So he always has that IBF Mando to get out the way, and he can stall it for another fight, hide behind the Mando, and then try to figure something out. Lewis Coleman says, if you paid attention to the Thurman interview, I already read that. Jonathan Fox says, I don't see Thurman fighting at an old age. He's going to finish their tournament of him, Crawford, and Spence, and then call it a day, all day. I think the same thing. The man has other loves in life. He just got married. This wife thing, it tells you that Thurman's real love is somewhere else. And so at this point, what Thurman is doing is winding down. He's just like Gary Russell. Gary, people don't know, Gary is winding down. Gary is on his way out of the sport. Gary is at a point in his career where he's like, look, I love boxing. I do. But I love other things a little bit more. So I'm going to go and indulge in these while I still can. And it's the same way with Keith. He probably has a love for boxing, but it ain't his number one love no more. And he wants to do other things. So I think he retires as a welterweight. That's just me. I think he retires at a welterweight, but I think he does test himself against Earl in turns. I don't think he can retire happily knowing that he didn't fight Earl or Turns. I just don't think he could. Warriors are warriors. He's a warrior at heart, man. The dude is too philosophical and study warriors codes and shit like that. Like he wouldn't be into this stuff if he wasn't a warrior at heart. And if you are a warrior at heart, you can't rest knowing that you didn't fight the best. You know what I'm saying? Just can't. Jonathan Fox says, already read that. Ronnie Boy Fresh says, Adukov Cave, a top ranked fighter, is Spence Jr. Mando. Oh, okay. I don't know. I've never really heard much about him, but you're right. You're right, bro. They are going to have to send him across the street. And that seems like the only way we get those across the street fights, fam. The only way we get those across the street fights is when it's ordered or mandoed or something like that. Thank God for that. Or else we wouldn't even be getting those. You did. Ronnie Boy Fresh, $5 in the super chat. Thank you, fam. Gary getting aged out, Slim. They know what they doing, Ronnie. They know what they doing, homie. They know exactly what they doing. They aging him out, thinking they gonna cash him out. That's why they don't want to let Tank nowhere near him. That's why they don't want to let Leo nowhere near him, aging him out. It's almost making me want to say maybe he should get. Look, man, I'm not one for stalling careers, but look, man, if Al don't want to get him right, if Al don't want to get Gary right, Gary might gotta give Eddie a call. Maybe he can set up something with Tevin Farmer, man. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. You know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's all good though. I hate the fact that they trying to age him out, man. That pisses me off. The man already got bad hands. So I mean, what more do you want? What more do you want? I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Oh, shit in the building. What's up with you, fam? What's up with you? What's goody? What's goody? Yeah, man, that's crazy, man. Kush Hayes says Crawford is in another level for me. The only is in Crawford's level is Spence for real. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, look, man, you can't overlook Keith. You know what I'm saying? You can't overlook Keith. I'm not gonna argue with you and say Spence ain't on this level. I'm just gonna say you can't overlook Keith. You can't just leave Keith on the outskirts like Keith don't exist. Like, I mean, you just can't do it. Paul Jacobson says Pac-Man in a knockout. So, Paul, you think that Manny Pacquiao is going to knock out Keith, the final level Thurman? Man, hell nah, bro. I explain, please. I don't. You think you're going to hit him with a straight left hand? You're going to catch him in a combination? You're going to overwhelm him with punches? I mean, how is this knockout going to come along? I don't know, Mo. Lewis Coleman says Russell ain't did enough to get those fights. Don't get mad. I know he from the DMV, but that's for another day, man. Nah, Lewis. No. See, it's not that he hasn't done enough. Like, I was listening to a recent interview by Gary, and Gary said it best. Why should I come back and fight 2-3 times a year if you're not giving me nobody to fight? He can't keep coming back and fighting the Jesus Mendozas of the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even know. I don't know who that is, but I'm just saying you got to give him an opponent. No one is jumping in the ring. There was no Frampton. There's no Oscar. There's no Abnormal. Her Abnormales might be getting some hot. None of these dudes. Regan Dial will come up for Loma, but he won't come up for Gary. Tank don't even want to entertain it. Like, he's thinking, why would I be coming back, putting my hands on the line, and I'm getting older to fight these dudes? Kiko Martinez ain't deserved to be nowhere near a ring for Gary Russell Jr. Leo been ducking since the amateurs. It's getting insane, man. It's getting, what more does he has to do? I mean, he's clowned him. He's went on social media trying to raise it up. What more do we got to do? Dog, this is insanity, man. I'm sorry, man. I don't. Kush Hayes says, number 1, Crawford. Number 2, Earl Spence in the world. Okay. I hear you, man. But, you know, neither one of them has done anything remotely close as to what Keith has done at welterweight. Marcus Davis says, man, nobody want to see Spence fight another Mando, pay them to step aside money or something if that's the case. I'd rather see Spence versus Danny than Spence fighting his Mando or even Ugas. I would love to see those fights too, bro. You know, unifications always trump mandatories, you know? So if that's the case, I mean, well, Terrence, I don't want to go down that road. Terrence wants smoke. We know it. Just take the Terrence Crawford fight, bro. Lewis Coleman says Tank will knock off Russell's head and play kickball with it. Russell will beat Santa Cruz, but please stay away from Tank Russell. Who has Tank beaten to make you think he can beat Gary Russell Jr.? What has Tank done in his short career so far that makes you think he can hang with Gary? He hasn't fought no one even remotely close to the level of Gary. Like, nowhere close. Nowhere close. I don't know how good Tank. I don't know where Tank's ceiling is. I know Tank has a ceiling. I just don't know where it is because he's pulling up all these 126 fighters. Because he's not fighting nobody. You know what I mean? So I don't know how good he really is. For us to overly put this confidence in Tank like he's just that good, we don't know. We don't know that. We know he's a good fighter, but how good? We just don't know. As for Gary, we do know. We've seen it on display against a couple, against multiple well, I'm gonna say multiple good fighters, but the way he beat on Johnny Gonzalez, come on, man. You know what I mean? Even the JoJo Diaz fight. We just seen JoJo Diaz fight recently where he smoked his opponent. Man, Gary got that young boy up out of there. Come on, man. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Ronnie Boy Fresh says, I spoke to Gary and they were stringing him along. Gary getting frustrated, man. He getting to a point where he even calling out Al, like, y'all protecting this man. What's up with it? There's no reason why I ain't getting this fight. No reason whatsoever. Kush Hayes says, Thurman can KO Pac-Man. True. Yeah, you know, hey, I think so. Thurman is a top boxer all day. All day. Israel Areola says Pac-Man will KO Thurman. Okay. Dundada says smash that like button and share the video for the homie all day. Hit that like button for me, whether you're just sliding through, whether you're a fan, you're just seeing me for the first time. If I popped up in your recommended section, whatever, man. Hey, hit the like button for me, though. It's Wednesday and shit. You know what I mean? I'm putting this work in. Come on. You dig? Rocket Strikes 89 says Bammers be lunching on Danny Garcia. I don't see Spence running through Danny. That's actually a good fight. Danny could beat Spence. You know, that is a good fight. Styles make fights, man. Styles make fights. This is something that I've always known about it in boxing, of course, you know, but looking at the J-Rock and Jerry Hurd fight, it just energized that in my head. Styles make fights. In the style of Danny Garcia, who does pack a mean punch, packs a mean punch, sits on a lot of his punches, brings them shits right from his waist. From the legs, from the legs, packs a mean punch. I love to see how that works out for him and Earl. I think Earl can overwhelm him with punches because Danny punches so wide and Earl has the ability to punch straight. But it'll still be an interesting fight. Lewis Coleman says, man, you know better. He too young and too strong. He can't keep Tank off him. Loma smoke Russell. Boots another day, man. All right, we'll save it for another day, fam. But you already know how I feel about that. Don't forget, JoJo Diaz was strong too, man. And JoJo Diaz was on top, like them first 4 or 5 rounds. Hey, he was giving Gary hell, but Gary adjusted, fell back, started using that footwork, and started boxing him on the outside. Made the young boy tired, wore him down. Intellect over athleticism. Ain't that what Gary always tell you? But we'll save it for another one, though, Lewis. You know, I'm always going to stick up for Gary, homie. You already know it. You know what I mean? Ronnie Boy Fresh says Gary Russell Jr. versus Loma will be on pay-per-view. Gary about to fight Burchelt, then take the rematch with Loma at 1:30 on pay-per-view. Book it all day. I'm down for that. I hope that Burchelt fight, man, don't have no kind of politics. Usually when you are, the WBC champion he's the WBC champion at 26, so he shouldn't have no problem with going up to 30 and getting an opportunity for that belt if he vacates. That's how WBC usually pretty cool about that. All right, folks, we about to shut it down real soon. Ronnie Boy Fresh says Spence Jr. will box Danny Swift Garcia ears off. Too much power. I think it'll be an interesting clash of styles, man. Only thing I say is that Earl punches straighter and probably more in volume as opposed to Danny. And Earl does have the ability to box on the outside that we've seen. And Earl, that which also tells me that Earl can switch it up. He can go from the brawler to the boxer, from the boxer to the brawler. And that is the number one thing that gives Danny Garcia problems. This is how Mauricio Herrera was so successful. This is how Lamont Peterson was so successful. This is how Keith Thurman and as well as Showtime Sean Porter was so successful. Because they boxed for one half of the fight and they stepped on the gas for the second half, and it throws the timing of Danny Garcia off each and every time. You know what I mean? All day. So let's see it for real. Gary Russell Jr. versus Loma. Good fight. Dundada. All day. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate each and every one of y'all for rocking with the homie. It's Wednesday night. We got a long weekend ahead of us, man. It's just a few fights on this weekend. As we get a little closer, we'll talk about them. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, this is going to be an impressive thing. Keith Thurman versus Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. I'm expecting for Keith Thurman to get rid and bury Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao and continue to be the final level like he is. You know what I'm saying? I am expecting that one day that Keith Thurman will face Terrence Crawford or either Earl Spence Jr. I'm not discounting those fights. But as of today, If Keith stops Manny, he resumes as being the number one welterweight in the world. He is one step ahead of the pack, you know what I'm saying, by knocking out a legend. Let's see if he can get it did, man. Much love to each and every one of y'all, man. Much love to all of y'all. I see a lot of the boxing fam up in here tonight, man. Shout out to all of the fam, man. I appreciate all of y'all love and support, man, all day long. You know what I mean? All day long. I'm expecting to be giving out more blue suits soon. But yo, man, I know who fam is, man. And trust and believe, all of y'all are fam. It is always a pleasure. To the next video, Main Man, Made Man. Don't forget to subscribe. Twitter, Made Man 511. Facebook, Main Man, Made Man Boxing Forum. Instagram, Main Man, Made Man. We will be back here Sunday. I missed last Sunday. Some things came up, but this Sunday we will be back on Sunday for the next live stream. And just be on the lookout for the videos, man. Troll free chat all day because it's fam up in this joint. Hey, and another thing before I go, don't be surprised. A lot of y'all, I be watching y'all channels. I'm not going to say no names right now, but y'all are good. I need to see a lot more y'all, man. Start channels, man. Y'all are some boxing fucking minds, man. A couple of y'all out there who I do be, man, looking at heavy. Y'all just don't know it. I look at a lot of y'all. I love looking at the subscribers channel. I love for a lot of y'all to start more channels. And if you do, expect to be supported by your big homie, Main Man, Made Man. Shout out to Renee Box Young. Everybody out there also. Also, go check out Lawrence Williams. Lawrence Williams is a bad, bad man all day. You know what I mean? So to the next one, y'all. Much love to each and every one of y'all. Peace out.